So I got back brake on, but I pull the clutch in, that you can travel nice and slow like that. So see how slow I'm going now? So that's a good one for low speed. Saves you putting your feet down all the time. Okay, I was going to go there, but I'll go there first anyway. I've got the old people going to come out. I say old people, I'm probably nearly as old as they are. Maybe another 10 years or something. So we'll do a blocky, we'll go right round and go back into town again and get some of this Roadcraft for the in town. It all looks pretty easy when you're sort of not going flat out and sitting behind people and that sort of stuff and taking precaution. And you look, the other car drivers are pretty good. Get a back brake there. Helps you get into that lane too. And just watch him in case he changes. I'll take a right here again, so we'll do a big blocky. Bit of back brake as I'm taking off. It sort of acts as a steering mechanism. Now I might turn right again and then go around the block the opposite way. Yeah, so yeah, okay, he admitted it. Yeah, the problem is if, you know, like what he did wasn't hugely dangerous, but the problem is you're not expecting them to do it, so that you're not really expecting there to be cars in the bike lane. Now if you had to sort of use the bike lane yourself for an emergency of some sort, well, he's there, so yeah, it doesn't hurt to let him know too. Like, he's an older sort of guy, looks like he's in his 50s or something, he should know better. I mean, what the hell, was he in some sort of a rush? Anyway, he just admitted it, so that's fine. And that's fine. I've bloody done things that I shouldn't done too. So, but usually people get aggressive at me. I thought, well, I'll just tell him, so he doesn't think he can just get away with it all the time. Like someone's going to pull him up somewhere over it, and that maybe embarrasses him a little bit, and he won't maybe do it again. He doesn't know I'm not a cop anyway. I'm riding a cop's bike. it's just too easy around Bendigo. Apart from that guy, he's the only person who sort of did anything really wrong. Oh, we might go through Diamond Hill. It's a little bit boring at the moment. Now, I notice I'm not sort of getting too close to the blue car. We've got a bit of traffic in the right lane here. And the blue car, he might decide to change lanes soon. So I don't want to be in his blind spot. And I probably am a little bit in his blind spot now. The time when he would be the most dangerous would be when it's coming up to an intersection or something and he thinks he can turn left. In this case he's turning right, so that's good, he gets out of my way. So now the alarm bells sort of go off now for me because of the right lane's clear. And there's not much behind me at the moment. So we might just turn left at the lights up here and head out to Diamond Hill. So right now I'll be looking for push bikes on the left of me that might be using the push bike lane. Alright, on our way to Diamond Hill. I'm just trying to think the quickest way to get there. Oh, now just have a look for a few trains here. No trains there, no trains on the other side. Get up off the foot pegs to go across there. Get on the foot pegs and stand up, and that'll save you back. Use the black car as shielding from the red car there. Sped up a little bit to make sure that I could go, hopefully while the red car's not coming out. And that worked fairly well. Alright, so because we're going downhill, braking is a little bit more important here because if something happens, you know, you've got that downhill momentum, so you just really don't want to let your speed get away too much on the downhill section. And our turn off is coming up pretty soon. There we go. Try and sink in the cars now, like to so you don't have to stop. So just get it all synced in, so you go around at a nice low speed, but you don't need to stop, and you don't have to go too fast to make the corner. Looking for that little car to make a right-hand turn there? Nope. Looking for the other one to make a right-hand turn? Nope. And that one? It's flying far enough away. Looking at the car on the side here, moving out a little bit in case there's somebody in the car and they want to come out. Alright, now, same old story. When we get up the top of the hill, we're going to look for cars that are going to turn across our path. Well, that just means, because it's such a sudden hill, like a crest, that we have to slow down. We've got no choice, so it'll be down a couple of gears at least. Got a car way back that's following us. Now get that speed down now for the crest, and we're good. And then through we go. Keep an eye out because there's farmers, not farmers, but yeah, driveway there where cars can come out. I'm going to give it a gear down there for that one, back brake, so we can get the outside line. Back brake helped us there get the speed right, so I could take the outside line so that I could get away from the cars that were on the corner. So basically once I had my foot on that brake, I could control my speed even through the corner, like I'm doing now, back brake, all the way through the corner. I can, if I'm gentle, I can take whatever corner whatever line I want. So now I've got to watch out for a car that's cutting the corner here. So we're just going to go right, left. And we're back to 100 k's now. And no hassle. Still keeping an eye out for any kangaroos that might be in the area. Ah, beautiful. We'll go down 2 gears here like normal. So it's like a city corner, this one. 2 gears down from 6 down to 4. And then gently on the throttle with back brake. Gently coming out, don't want to get too fast here on this left one. Back brake. I'm getting my body off the bike a little bit, up to the left. And gently accelerating. Come out. I came out there at about 80 k's. I'm going to go down a gear here because it's like a little bit more engine braking if I need it. And down to the stop sign again. We'll go into Kangaroo Flat because like you've seen me go through Diamond Hill and the other one that's further down. So we'll go back down the Kangaroo Flat and just get situated here nice. Going to take me time on this one. I can see something, but I think it's the car going the other way, so I think I'm right. Just see how fast it accelerates for a sec. Just 100 k's. If you're not sure about a corner, chuck it down a gear, like I just did then. It just helps you so much. So that should be back in 6th gear there. Chuck it down a gear for that one. Back brake, and use the back brake to bring so you can go out. When I had to move away from that car, all I did is just keep decreasing the back brake and go left. And the longer you do that for, the easier it becomes to come to a complete halt. So alright, back down to 80 k's. So now, not a lot to do here. Just select the right gear for that. Also in 4th gear, so yeah, it's looking like unless it's reasonably tight, fourth gear's a good one. Put the blinker on, see if that gives them the incentive to go. If it doesn't, they're being good. And I'm not nice and tidy here, I can get away from that car by taking it tight too. It helps me a lot. Watch out for this one on the left here. Down a gear, so you can be a lot slower there than what you can go through. And for good reason, because those cars come out there. Down to second, still in second. Let's clunk it back into first and slip the clutch. And then slip the clutch back out again. We'll go left here. Might go on the open highway for a little bit. Come back in again. For a change, we'll take a left-hand turn down here. Back brake, off the back brake, you know that back brake I keep saying that I'm doing in corners, like slow speed corners and that. If you get into the habit of that, geez, you can drop U-turns really fast. You can just suddenly go back to a highly controllable state at low speed. Very good technique to use. Might head out to Caruso Road and go to Lockwood Way, come back in that way perhaps. Back brake. It sort of helps you too, not letting the bike run away too quickly when you drop the clutch. So I've still got my back brake on here, and then I'll take it off now. Now we're right, Caruso Road. And normally at higher speeds, the wind pressure is pushing you back enough to sort of moderate your speed in a negative direction, if you know what I mean. Sort of slowing you down. And you sort of need that slowing down, not just the acceleration, but you need something that can give you the opposite force, which is why engine braking is such a good thing. There are bikes that I've ridden, or one bike that I've ridden without engine braking. It was a BMW R65, no engine braking at all. So what I had to do was use the foot brake all the time, coming up the corners. And then as I want to accelerate through the corner, I'd use the accelerator to against the foot brake and then slowly ease off the foot brake. Now I found that technique is actually the best technique, well, for me, for riding. Maybe other people do something different, but I found that to be extremely good when I got back onto the Suzuki 750. So yeah. Oh. Don't be impatient when someone's turning off. Give them plenty of time. You know, when I was watching these YouTube videos of motorcyclists, I mean, a lot of them get hit because they're just impatient. And they don't allow enough room. They sit too close behind people. They don't take enough caution when they get to intersections. So alright, the green car is going to turn in front of us. He might go before us. So back off a little bit and make him stop, or not make him stop, but make it clear that he's stopping. So you make him wait, you know, a fraction longer than he would normally need to. Don't accelerate towards it. You don't want to accelerate into a possible crash. So pretty soon we'll be coming up to 100k. Alright, 100k's. Now I'll just accelerate up to 100k's. So another reason for how I'm sticking to the left here, if a kangaroo comes out, if a kangaroo comes out, I can straighten without going on the other side of the road. And so I can do my braking. Even if I couldn't do it completely to come to a stop, I could come off the front brakes, still keeping the back brakes on, and then steer left. And make sure if I'm going to hit him, I'm going to be on the left-hand side of the road. Now I know for a fact there's a lot of kangaroos out here, so get me weight heading left where those cars are so that I don't get thrown out in front of them if I hit it. So on my speed, it's not 100k's because I'm a little bit frightened of the possible kangaroo coming out here. And you know, you could go out of here 100 times and never see a kangaroo, but you don't get a lot of room to see them, and they camouflage into the bush so much. Alright, so I've got to watch behind me this time. Reason being is I'm going to be a sitting duck, sitting out here, waiting for these cars. And what I mean is I can get hit from behind. So the main thing there is to look in the mirror if you've got to go do an intersection like that. If you see that you're going to be held there for a while, it might just be a better option to continue straight and either come back and do a U-turn when you can, or take another intersection. It's not worth sitting in the middle of the road and getting hit by somebody doing 100k's. I don't trust them that they would not hit me. I don't trust anyone, you know. See, along here, it's not about trust. Oh, there's a nice dirt road there. Okay, we're going to take the dirt road. So look in my mirror, indicating left. Nice and slow, back brake on, indicate right, and a little bit of engine. Go around and have a look where you're going. Put your head in the direction you're going and make it a lot easier to steer. So we'll go back to that dirt road. It wasn't far back. Looking in your mirror now, indicator on nice and early, just in case there's a car that I didn't see in my mirror. And make that turn. And be careful this part, this is where you'll drop it. I'll just try and... Okay, that was fun. You see how that was just so that I could test to see where how the wheel spins on dirt. If you keep it straight, it's pretty stable. I don't know whether there's traction control, what it is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, that didn't turn out to be such a good road after all. Looks like it's just access to properties out here. Alright, we'll go back to where we were. Yeah, clutch is just in and back brake's on a little bit. So one thing that is useful for motorcycle riding that's not to do with motorcycling riding is exercising. Having good cardiovascular fitness will make you more concentrated. So if you've been doing running, even if you've only been doing a couple of kilometres running, it'll help you out with motorcycle riding. So it's really important to have a clear head. And running definitely gives you a clear head. Now, the technicalities of that are there's something in your body called glycogen. Now, glycogen is sort of like sugar, but it's made by the body, and it's actually held in your muscles. So it's fuel for your muscles. And when you run, your leg muscles act like batteries, so they soak up sugar and hold it as glycogen, and when your brain needs fuel, the muscles release it to fuel your brain. So that's why runners will be much more clearer than someone who doesn't run or doesn't exercise. So I'm going to head back into town. So we never rush intersections like this. Take them nice and easy. What I will do though is I'll rev it out pretty hard. So in a sec. Alright, here we go. Just wanted to see how pretty good the acceleration on this. I do that in areas where I know it's fairly safe to do it. If I ever needed it, I wouldn't be surprised about how fast it accelerates. Of course, this is nothing compared to other vehicles. Same story out here. Kangaroos. We're in the same sort of area. I'm doing 100 k's. Maybe we could do an emergency brake up here. Looking in the rear vision mirror now, there's nothing there. I'm going to do an emergency brake after not this pole, but the next pole. Put my blinker on and pretend the kangaroo comes out now. Good, eh? Very good. Alright. I tried not to get to the spot where it was using the anti-lock braking, because what I found in the car is that I'm actually better at braking than what the anti-lock braking is. So if I go into the area where the anti-lock braking in the car is working, I don't pull up anywhere near as quick. So it's also probably a good idea to not go into that area if you don't have to anyway, because it's good to keep those skills up. I mean, what happened one day if the anti-lock braking wasn't working? and just locked up the front wheel because you grabbed a handful of brake. Still got to know what to do if front wheels lock up. And that's where it'd be super handy to have two bikes and take one of them into the dirt and one of them on the bitumen, and one without anti-locking braking, which would be the one you have in the dirt. So 60k zone again. So I can't see that anywhere I was in particularly a lot of danger on the ride today. I didn't have anyone sort of pull out in front of me. Speaking of which, that intersection just in front of me, watch him, go to the right. If he went, I can still, there's room over there on the right I can go onto. And I don't have to stay there. I could have driven right across there onto that other little access road. So, you know, when you get down to 30 k's, you're just like a push bike. And it's so easy to get down to 30 k's. So if you had to start to move out, rather than do an emergency brake and head straight towards him and hit him, just do a moderate brake and move onto the opposite side of the road. So and the more you get your speed down, the more severe your turn can be, and the easier it is to get away from him. So there's another road on the left here where cars might come in quick. Have a look. No one coming in. Try and go through the roundabout smoothly at about 20 kilometres per hour or so. Down a gear. Now into fourth. Or we're going to have to stop into third, second, first. Make sure it's in first. Give it a few more taps while you're sitting there doing nothing. So because it's got a lot of low down power, this bike, I shortchange it. That's what I call it. And now watch this for a sec here, because I'll be getting a bit impatient and notice that everyone's looking. So I was able to get. I can't put on my blinker yet. So I do. This guy will pull in front of me. So I go now. All right. So I put on my blinker before I got to him. Then he, I don't know, even though it's a one-way street back there, he might think I'm going in there. So it's a bit of a problem. That blinker gives them a signal to pull out in front of you. So just be careful of putting on your left-hand blinker that there's no one in front that you plan on going past. Better off not using the blinker until you're past them and then use it. So looking behind me, red light ahead. So control the traffic now by making sure you've got adequate space behind. So just go a little bit slower than you have to. So watch this guy, he's going to run, yeah. Now if I had accelerated hard like a lot of motorbike riders would have there, you would have hit him. No worries. Because those people that do that, they're just assuming nothing's going to change. Stay at the speed that is safe. Don't move beyond it until you're in a different area. So anyway, this is good for me. I just thought about it then, that talking about what I'm doing when I'm riding is actually really good for me. Because now I'm ingraining this behaviour into myself, and I'm picking myself up on any mistakes if I make them. So I can go back and watch the video, see if I made any mistakes, see if mistakes are when a car comes close to hitting you. Doesn't mean that you're at fault for it. What it means is your defence wasn't good enough. I can't stress defence enough. It's defence is the only thing you should be concentrating on, not fault. Yeah, sure enough, maybe when someone's broken every bone in your body and they're at fault, maybe you can sue them. But do you really want to go through that just because you're in the right? I'd seriously just rather have a good defence and not get hit in the first place. So, you know, why do I go slower than the traffic here? Like, well, the light's red ahead. You know, they're not going anywhere. Why should I just sit right up behind them when the light's red? It's pointless. I'd rather keep moving. On a motorbike, sometimes you get hot in the summer, but it's much better moving along with a bit of breeze and sitting at the traffic lights and getting boiling hot. So watch behind me. Everything's okay back there. Pretty soon I think I'll get a camera and I'll mount it to the back of the bike and I'll dub that in to the video so you can see what's happening behind me, because that's half the story, isn't it? So smoothly let those revs come up a bit and the clutch goes out. Short change it. That's a nice quick change because it's got low down power. Now, what sort of bike would I recommend for a learner? Well, it needs to be one that's forgiving. So, particularly forgiving in the front end. And that's, just hang on a sec, I'm probably creeping on this guy, creeping up on him too much. I'll back off a little bit. So if you can just look at the profiles of, you know, the sideways profile of a few motorbikes, and you'll see that, you look at the fork angle. So, you know, the front forks, what sort of angle does that come down at? Now you'll get ones that are really upright, and they're kind of like the racing sort of bikes. They're very flickable at the front end. You don't have to move the steering wheel that much to make them, the steering that much to make them turn. Then there are the ones that are sort of halfway between, the ones where your fork angle sticks out a little bit more, but not too much. Then you get the chopper ones, you know, like Harley sort of ones, and they stick out a long way, like that one over there. That's not too bad, that one. If you're going to get a chopper type one, now some of them ones like the Viragos and those sort of bikes, they absolutely look magic. As long as that fork angle doesn't come out too far, and I'd really want to have anti-lock braking on them just in case, but they're probably okay as long as you learn on dirt roads how to brake properly. Go on a dirt road somewhere where there's no traffic, just try locking up the front wheel a bit and see how that feels, whether you think you can handle that locking up on bitumen or whatever. Because what will happen is the first time somebody pulls out on you, you're just probably going to go for a handful of front brake and you could drop it. So, you know, I'd suggest, if you want to just make it a hell of a lot safer, ABS. It would have prevented me from having one of my accidents when I was younger. I didn't hurt myself, but you know, it was astonishing to me that it could even happen, because I was on this road here and I was pulling out in front of the service station and there's oil on the road, but it's early morning, I didn't see that was oil. And it was maybe greasy because there's a bit of dew on the road too, and I was right in the spot in the middle where all the dew and the oil sort of collect, and I put me front brake on. I thought it wasn't even half front brake, and it when I did that, I just watched my handlebars head towards the ground. I couldn't believe it, like I'm halfway down to the ground, and I did an instinctive thing and I kicked my foot into the ground like you would with a push bike, and I pulled my steering onto full lock, and to my surprise the bike came up and did a little bit of a tank slap, and then I'll just go up here, I think. Did a bit of a tank slap, and then I saw I was going to hit the car, so I hit the car on the left hand side and rolled beside the car. I got up, no damage, but there was my jumper was sort of burnt a little bit on the elbow there, but not much. I don't think I even got skinned myself at all. Probably only doing about 30 k's or something. And anyway, what was I talking about? See, I'm starting to get muddled now. Yeah, what sort of bike someone should get if they're just starting. So, you know, the current bikes that are out there that I have a look at, I look at whether they're recommended as a learner bike for starters, and then I kind of try and figure out why. One of the bikes I didn't think would sort of suit a learner actually does, apparently. That's the Ninja. Now, Ninja 300 or whatever it is, I think there's even a 650, and I think both of them are actually okay as a learner bike. Now, I started off with a GSX 250 Suzuki back in about 81, and it was pretty forgiving considering what I did to it. And then you're going to start to wonder, well, what's the next bike going to feel like? You know, when you go up a few cc, you go up to, just hang on a sec, I think I'm good to go in here. Yeah, so I went to a BMW R65, which is what I spoke about before. I was in second gear then. So there's a mistake. So when I realised I was in second, I just let the clutch out a bit slower and gave it a few more revs. I was still able to pull away in second. Now if it was on a steeper hill there and I did that, I'd have to knock it back a gear. Just quickly knock it back a gear and then try again. But anyway, you wonder what the bike, the next sort of cc size up, was going to feel like when you go out and ride. And the way it worked out was I was happy to go to a higher cc because it actually felt safer. Because when I wanted to go, I went, and power on a bike's not dangerous if you know how to control yourself. And you're not really doing higher speeds than you were before, but the bike just feels like it's just working a lot better. Just go right here. And then this is the biggest CC bike I've had, and it's a waste of time. It really is to go to this size. Even though on paper it's got a lot of power, the power really doesn't mean much when you've got a whole lot of weight as well. This has got 280 kilos, so really the power is only covering the extra weight you got. If I had a lighter bike like a 650 again, or a 750 again, I'd probably feel a lot better than what I do on this. So, you know, it's good, but it really is 50 kilograms too heavy. Should be down about the 230 mark or so. I mean, yeah, alright, when you get touring on it, in fact, after you're doing 15 kilometres per hour, you don't notice the weight. But it's still there. And if you have to pull the thing up, it's going to be, theoretically, it's going to take more to pull up than a lighter bike. And also, if you start to drop it, like, you know, in the driveway or something, you got to use a lot of leg strength to keep the thing up. So, I mean, in my book, the Ninja 650 looks like a good bike. It looks like a magic bike for a young bloke. For someone my age to get on one, yeah, I can still do it, but it kind of looks like you're pretending to be young again. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that, but it certainly would suit a young bloke. It's very, very nice. What else? Some of the Hondas don't look too bad either. Yeah, like I think it was a Honda 400. It looked like a pretty stable sort of bike, but not really showy. So, you know, out of the Honda and the Ninja, if I was young again, I'd pick the Ninja for sure. And if I could pick the 650, I would, because it would save me having to buy another bike once I got off me P-plates. Because that's plenty, you don't need any more. Like I said, start getting up over 1000 cc, becomes a bit pointless. And the enjoyment you get on bikes tends to get less and less the heavier it gets. Alright. Oh, the camera's still going, so I'll keep riding. Now, I'll go back into psychology for a sec. Some people, women tend to do this. They want to buy a motorbike, and they think, oh, why not a little scooter? And nothing wrong with the scooters, they're quite nice. But it's not my recommendation for anyone, be it male or female, for their first bike to be something really small. Now, the reason is because they got smaller wheels, they're inherently more unstable when the front wheel slides or the back wheel slides. You're better off getting one that's, in my opinion, a 17-inch front and back wheel, one that you can get your feet on the ground pretty easy with, and it hasn't got too much weight so that if you're going to drop it, you can't pick it up. So women might have a little bit of trouble with that. But if you know, they have to get it, they have to get it. So as long as they can, I've seen videos online that women can pick up bikes that are incredibly heavy, so it's just a technique how you do it. So not entirely make that a big point, but definitely the lighter you can get, the better. ABS, and then you need Ks, lots of Ks. But talking about the scooters, I've heard sort of people say, oh, I'm only going to get a little bike. Like somehow the forces of fate will leave you alone if you've got a little bike. No, you get splattered the same as everybody else. Little bike or not little bike, because that car hasn't got any little. The one that's going to hit you, it's no more. It's exactly the same size. So, I mean, you know, running off the road, they'll still run off the road just as easy as any bike will run off the road. So, I kind of see it as a thing that they say so that they don't have to be serious about motorbike riding. That they don't want to go all the way in, they want to go a little bit of the way in, but not, hang on a sec, to the left a bit. And then they want to go a little bit of the way in, and they think they're going to be safe because they haven't fully committed, which is incorrect. Main thing, you need to ride on roads where there's hardly any people, really, where if you do come off, you know, you're not going to get hit by the car behind or whatever. So therefore you should start with like the standard size motorbike, either a 250 or one of those ones that's been approved for alplators with ABS, and not a big fork angle unless it's one that, like the Yamahas that aren't overly exaggerated but they still look damn awesome. They would be, if I had a bike like that on my L plates when I was just beginning to ride, I think I would have been so happy.